Okay, so apparently while shaking off a swarm, I managed to get the queen on my head. I don't know how I did that, but apparently I've got a queen on my head because this is where all the bees are gathering. I mean, it's not fun to have a swarm on your head, but there you go, and there you have it. This is interesting. Do you see the queen on my head? I don't know, but now I've got to figure out how to get this veil off, get another veil on, and then look for the queen on my head. All right, so this is the craziest thing I've ever seen. I just got off of work and it's only 62 degrees outside, and every single hive that I have is bearding, and I don't know why. I've never seen the bees do this before. Both the bee barns and the non-bee barns, just bees everywhere. Nobody's swarming, but everybody is out. I mean, they're just out everywhere. And we get down here to some of these bee barns and there's so many bees bearding on the front that they're falling to the ground in giant piles. 86 degrees inside that hive. Look at the bees. Heck, look at the Krynock bees. They just swarmed the other day. Yeah, there's just so many bees. Maybe I need to open up some of these entrances. I've been kind of clamping the entrances down because it's been getting into the 30s at night. Maybe I just need to open them up a little bit. Holy moly. All right, so in today's update, we're gonna come out here and see if those girls ever went back inside their hives yesterday. It's 28 degrees out this morning, so if they stayed outside, there's a pretty good chance that a lot of bees are dead down here today. I don't know why they were all bearding yesterday afternoon, but now we're going to see whether or not they survived. We'll look across the front row first. The front row, nobody's bearding. I have a couple of dead bees. Down there on the bottom, they're frozen solid. There's a frozen one right there on the awning. Not a lot happening here. Red ant pile, gotta be careful. Fire ants everywhere this time of year. Okay, these girls all went inside, with the exception of that ball of bees, and I still see them moving around a little bit. So maybe they're going to survive. I don't know. I don't know why they were outside like that, but they were, and it was not a very wise decision. If you're a bee, it's not a good thing to do. Oh, we have the same thing happening here. Some girls hanging there. Now they are moving, but it is 28 degrees outside, so I guess that's torpor. I don't know what they're doing. And the same thing underneath this army hive. I don't know, again, why they did this, why they're hanging out outside of their home on this cold morning. But that's it. So we have 3 hives where the girls didn't make it in. I hope that when the temperatures warm up, it's supposed to get, to 67 today. And look at what I just found. Son of a gun. Holy moly. It looks like I had a huge swarm. So I will be out here first thing this morning moving these girls into a box. Holy moly. Did not expect to find that. All right, I better go get a box before these girls are ready to fly. All right. So I'm guessing this is 2 swarms. I'm not certain. I don't want to cut any bees in half here. If I can get them to move up out of the way on the branch. I really don't want to cut up my plum tree, but I also don't want to let's give this just a little chop. Okay, we have the first one down. I'm going to take this and put this in the resource nuke. Right back. Okay, now I don't have any idea if there is a queen in this ball of bees. I'm going to assume that there is, and I'm just going to set it down in one side. Now, you're not going to see this, but you just take my word for it, it's going to happen. Okay, they are in there, and I do have a guard chasing me, so they're flying, but I'm just going to leave the branch and everything in there. I'm going to go ahead and cover them up. And, well, that's the wrong one here. Let me grab this. Cover them up. This way they have some food. They have a little hive to deal with. And that means that I have secured that one. I'm going to go ahead and put this entire hive back together. That way I can put the lid back on, let these girls stay warm. Again, I will come back out later and check these bees, make sure that they're okay. But right now what I want to do is I just want to make sure that they can get warm. I hope they have a queen in there. I don't know for sure that they do. Guess we'll check on that later too. And if they don't, I'll put them in with the other bees. All right, phase one complete. Now again, I don't know whether there's a queen over there. If there is, great. If not, then I will move that ball of bees over to this hive, and this can be their new hive, because together they would make a sizable colony. All right, this is not going to be fun. This is not going to be fun for the bees. It's not going to be fun for me. How are we going to do this? They are on multiple branches here. Let's get, oh man. This is not going to be fun, I say. Let me have a queen clip at the ready in case I see her. She will be painted. How am I going to do this? I really, really, really hate doing this. I want to do it as gently as I can. But boy, that box is heavy. And this tree is, they're on a thick branch. Oh, this is the worst. Okay, let's take this, I hate cutting my plum tree, but let's take this small branch out of the way here. I don't want you girls to fall on the ground. There you go. I'm just going to put you in here. Set you in there for a second. Your sisters will be coming shortly. Okay. So this is where the whole thing can just go sideways on me. I really don't want it to go sideways on me, but it may happen here. Let's try to just lean it down into the box, and then I'll try to break them off. I don't want to damage my tree any more than I have to. But I also don't want these girls. I don't want these girls all airborne because it's just too cold out. Okay. We're going to reset a little bit and move this whole ladder forward. So I don't want the girls flying onto the ground like happened last time. Okay. Try this again. I mean, ideally, I would want to look for the queen first, but what are my chances of finding the queen on this limb? You know what? I'm gonna have to cut the limb. I don't want to destroy that queen. All right. I don't know whether my pruners are strong enough, but we're gonna give this a shot. I've got a lot of bees starting to swarm me now. They're not happy with me doing this. Okay, we got it. Throw the pruners down there. Let me, I'm just gonna drop this whole limb into the box. There you go, ladies. That was a clean catch right there. That's clean. There you go. I'll come back later, girls, and get the limb. Okay, it's cold. Get down in there. Cut that branch off. Let me cut this branch. Oh, I'll just shake these girls now. Let me look for a queen in here. While I'm here, maybe she's on this little tiny branch. No, I'm just gonna shake that off. No, she's not on there. Okay, there's your hive. They put the lid on it for you. Don't have an inner cover on this one, but there you go. All right, so my question is this. Should I, you know what, it's not even a question. Here's my reasoning behind what I'm about to do. I'm not going to leave the hive sit here on the ladder. I'm going to go ahead and move it to the back bench, because if they, let's just say, for instance, they sent out scout bees looking for a new home yesterday, and those bees found a new home and it's nice and warm and they're still alive, and if they come back to this location and find those bees in that box, I'm of the opinion that they may be able to convince the queen to fly somewhere else, and I don't want to lose this, so I'm going to sacrifice those bees. If they come back and they go to this branch, they're going to have to go back to their original hive or find this hive on the back bench. So that's my plan, and I'm sticking to it. Save the bees. All right, here we go. Onward. All right, bees, here's your new home. I will get you an ant moat later. Park you right next to the Krynock bees. I will also get you some food a little later. Success! Okay, let's see if we have a queen in here. Hi, girls. What are you doing there? What are you doing? Just want to see if there's a queen. I know you're cold. Okay, I do not see a queen in this ball of bees. Here we go. So now let's see if we have a queen in here. Let's have a look. Queen in there. All right, Navy Hive. I don't know why you're doing this either, but we're going to have a look. We're just going to look for a queen. If you don't have one, that's fine. If we find one, we're going to put her in this clip. Hello, I don't know what you were doing hanging out there. Okay, I'm going to call it. There's no queen on there. I don't know why they hung out outside last night. Makes absolutely no sense. I guess it was something they felt like they had to do. Okay, so this is the video that refuses to end. I think we have another swarm. Now, this swarm never made it far from the hive, but I looked at the front. There was a small ball of bees hanging on the front of the Navy hive, and then I pulled the bottom board out, and there are a ton of bees that were in between the bottom board and the screen bottom board. They're hanging out there, I guess, trying to stay warm overnight. I don't know whether or not there's a queen in there. I'm going to have to take my phone up under there and look around and see if I can see one. But if there is, I have no idea how to get her out of there. I don't know, maybe I just let those bees fly away and I add to the surplus bee population of the world, and that would not be a bad thing. Because I really don't know how to deal with this. Anyways, let me get my phone and I'll show you what I'm talking about. All right, so I put my gloves on because these bees are not going to be too happy, but let's have a look up underneath of the Navy hive and see what we can see. Look at this. Now again, I don't know whether there's a queen up underneath there, but there's an awful lot of bees. I'm gonna lay down like I'm getting under a car here. We'll see what we can see. There's a ton of bees. Do you see a queen up in there? I suspect she would have a yellow dot on her if we did see one. I'm gonna leave it sit here for a second so that you can have a look for her. This stinks. Girls, what are you doing? It's still March. See, that's the problem with the weather getting warm so fast, because it's going to be in the 30s again next week. Our early spring is vanishing, and it's turning into a beekeeping nightmare. So how would you handle this? Ye old YouTube beekeepers and people out there, what would you do? Would you let them fly away? Would you try to scrape them off? Maybe I'll put a frame up under here and they gravitate toward the frame. I guess that's what I'll try to do. I'll try to put a comb, a used comb up under here, see if they crawl onto it. And if they do that, then maybe I can get these girls into a hive. There we go. Let's try that. I do not know if this is going to work. Probably will not, but we're going to give it a shot. Okay, so apparently while shaking off a swarm, I managed to get the queen on my head. I don't know how I did that, but apparently I've got a queen on my head because this is where all the bees are gathering. I mean, it's not fun to have a swarm on your head, but there you go, and there you have it. This is interesting. Do you see the queen on my head? I don't know, but now I've got to figure out how to get this veil off, get another veil on, and then look for the queen on my head. Okay, so I managed to get my veil off and put another one on. But the question is now, where's the queen? The queen has got to be on my head. Why would these bees be on my head if there was no queen on my head? Okay, I'm going to put the phone down and I'm going to look and see if I cannot find a queen. Here we go. Looks like a good place to be, doesn't it? In case you have a queen in there. We will turn this thing around so that you can blow your scent up there and let your queen know that you got a place to live. All right, so I want to make a correction. You know, when I was down there, you heard me saying, I smell wisteria, I smell wisteria. And then when I was laying on my back and I'm pushing the bees and trying to get them off the bottom into the new hive, it started smelling really strong, and I thought, well, maybe the wisteria is falling out of them. It wasn't wisteria. What I'm smelling is that artificial banana flavoring smell. That was their attack pheromone. I mean, they were just spraying it everywhere, I guess, to try to light me up so that I'm the guy that they're supposed to hit. I guess now it's all over my clothes. Anyways, I think we've got a solution here. I don't know whether it's going to work. I don't even know if there's a queen there. But there were a lot of bees on the bottom of that box, and now I've got them, I think, crawling down into that hive. I mean, there's still a lot of bees on the bottom, but if there was a queen and I managed to get her into the box, I'm hoping that they'll fan and say, listen, this is our new home, and everything will be right with the world. If they don't do that, those bees are going to fly, and I'm going to lose some bees, and that's just the way that it is. All right, well, there you go, the end of another adventure. Now, this was an unintentional video. My goal was not to shoot a video before work this morning. I mean, heck, when I came outside, it was 28 degrees, and that means it was cold pretty much all night long. And when I found those girls hanging in the tree, well, I had to act, and I got the cameras out and tried to do this a little bit better than I did last time. Now, because it was so cold outside, I didn't have to worry about the bees flying everywhere because I think they were in torpor, and they were doing everything they can to just try to keep that queen warm. Now, I saw two distinct clusters in the tree, and I don't know whether the small one was an actual swarm or not, but I put them in the resource nuke, and if I don't find a queen there, I'll put them with the rest of the girls that we put in the big hive. Now, to my surprise, some of the girls were still bearding on the front of a few of the hives, the Marines hive, one of the bee barns up front, and the Navy hive. Now, the bee barn and the Marines hive, no queen, I didn't see anything there. But the Navy hive, well, I pulled a small cluster out, did not find the queen on a frame that I put up there, but then I moved the bottom board out of the way, and a ton of bees were up underneath that hive. I think they were trying to keep warm, and if I were a queen bee, that's where I would go. So I moved a hive up underneath of the bee stand, scraped the bees into there, and I hope that if there was a queen, I hope that they decide to make that their house, and I'll move them to the back bench next to the swarm we caught today. And if there's no queen in there, I'm sure those girls are just going to take off and either populate the world or go back to their respective hives. Anyways, with all of that said, I hope you would like this video. If you did, do me a favor, give me a thumbs up. If you have something to say, by all means, please comment. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, do me a favor, take a moment, hit the subscribe button, ring the bell to be notified of my new content. I try to drop a video every Friday. We try to keep it light and have fun, and sometimes adventurous on a cold morning. That's just something that happened, and beekeeping is solving problems, right? Well, I had some massive problems when I came out today. But anyways, with all that said, be happy, and I will see you next week. Take care.